succeed.
Senator Lyons.
Thank you, Mr Deputy President. And I have to say I rise to speak on this matter of public importance today, and what we've heard from the Abbott government is more spin, Mr Deputy President, more spin from the Abbott government than you would get from a whirling dervish. They cannot tell the truth, even on a day when their poll results have hit absolute rock bottom. Never before in this country have we had a Prime Minister as unpopular as Mr Abbott. And since Australia Day, after the Prime Minister's nightmare backlash from the Australian public in knighting Prince Philip, the chaos, the division, the dysfunction and the mistrust eating at the heart of the coalition government has been well and truly on display, culminating this morning in a spill motion where 39 MPs and senators, a majority of backbenchers, voted for a spill motion to have a new leader, any leader, Mr Deputy President, other than the Prime Minister, Mr Abbott. Anybody other than Mr Abbott. And surely the Prime Minister himself admitted to this chaos, division, dysfunction and mistrust in his own government today when he said, after that spill motion, that good government starts today. What an insult to Australian voters. Australian voters had a right to good government from December 2013. But no, 18 months later, Mr Abbott finally says, I'll have a go at good government from now on. What a disgrace. And nearly 40 people in the Liberal Party, because I believe even a Liberal candidate is capable of filling out a ballot paper without getting it wrong, deliberately did want anybody other than the Prime Minister. What confusion we saw. But what do we see from the Abbott government and the ministers in this place is that they are living in a parallel universe. They're claiming everything is fine. Well, clearly things are not fine when the Prime Minister of the country commits to good government from today. And clearly things are not fine when at least 39 backbenchers say we want anyone except the current Prime Minister. And it's one thing, perhaps, even expected that a Conservative Tea Party government like the Abbott government would let down low-income earners, that would let down Australian workers, would put trade unions offside. However, this government has managed to get everyone offside with its bucket full of broken promises, backflips and captain's picks. Doctors out campaigning against the mistrust they have with the government. And perhaps the PM hasn't been into a doctor's surgery lately, but let me assure him that in my doctor's surgery just recently I saw not just one notice opposing the Abbott government's cut, I saw 3 notices and a petition, and I can assure those opposite that the Abbott government's cuts to Medicare were the talk of that waiting room. But is the Prime Minister and his team, are they listening? No, of course they're not, because they are committed still to cutting Medicare, and the AMA is not convinced because their campaign continues. Business groups. The Abbott government has even managed to put its mates at the big end of town off, because they're asking, well, you've done the big back-down, backflip on PPL, what about the levy? And what have they been met with? Absolute silence. So now business groups, the Abbott government's traditional mates, are offside. And what about farmers? What's the National Party doing? They have been suffering drought in this country. The PM went out on a farm. But again, empty promises. We've seen nothing but poor policy delivered in that area. And the chaos, the division, the dysfunction and the mistrust will continue because that genie is out of the bottle. And once the genie's out of the bottle, it cannot be put back. And those low polls and the backflips and broken promises of the Abbott government will continue, and they will continue to live in their parallel universe, trying to pretend that everything is somehow fine with the country when all of us know better until the next election. A change in government is what this country needs, and it needs it sooner rather than later. Thank you, Mr Deputy President.
Senator